It's like as soon as you hit start streaming, you're there.
Yeah.
But it always makes me feel better to wait for it to come up. I think it makes everybody else feel better too. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I'm already live. See, Edge is working so much faster because in Firefox that would have took forever.
Yeah.
That would have took at least 30 seconds.
Right.
But anyway, we're here. We're live. We're good.
We are. I'm Sean.
I'm Jonathan.
And this
Welcome
is
to episode 11 of
Only Frets.
You're live in 3, 2, 1.
Hopefully that intro worked for you this time there, Sean.
I think it did.
Cool.
Did. And
yeah, see, and what's funny too, it didn't glitch on mine. I'm telling you, man, switching browsers has a night and day difference.
it's good stuff. Jonathan,
It is.
you have a new guitar.
Yes. I do. One of a few, actually. I've gone a little buck wild, but I've worked hard for them. This is a Gibson Les Paul Standard in classic white. This is the 50s, so it's got the big old fat chunky neck on it. And wholeheartedly inspired by the guitar player from my favorite band ever, Amberlin. There was a video they put up where he was at they were all at the Gibson garage, and he was like playing an SG, and he's like, maybe I've always wanted an SG. And he went back to Les Paul. He's like, no, Les Paul. And he picked up the white one, and I was like, that thing looks mint. So that's where I went on my selling frenzy of purging a lot of my guitars. I'm like, I'm going to own that white one, and that's just the way that it is, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, it looks awesome. Oh yeah. Oof.
I think I'm gonna drop D. Just making sure.
It's okay.
Yeah, so it's the standard's always been just one of my favorites.
Well, it's the standard for a reason.
It's the standard for a reason, exactly, and it's it's the first Les Paul standard Gibson I've ever owned. I've owned a studio before. That was my first Gibson.
Mm-hmm.
There's no feeling like in the standard, man.
Yeah,
so
dude.
Thank you, Sweetwater, for that. That's where that came from.
Shout out Sweetwater.
Yeah, man. It's been
not
a long time
sponsored,
but not sponsored. No,
maybe someday though.
Maybe. Tone's coming from the Pocket Master though, Sonic Cake Pocket Master. Which, by the way, Sean, they did release a new firmware update for that. You should update for Pocket Master relatively soon. I think it adds MIDI control.
Oh,
so
snap!
Plug up MIDI stuff to it. Yeah, which was actually something that someone put in a comment on the video that I did about it, where it was they were like, "Oh, if it had MIDI control, I'd be right up there." And I'm like, "Well, guess what, buddy?
Guess what?
Steve Gunner in my comments.
Get one.
What's up, guys? Yeah, Steve Gunner's here. What's up, guys? What's up, Steve? And then we got Zuhair Reza. Who's that? Apologies if I said that wrong. While the Les Paul looks cool, it does. Yeah, it looks great on camera. But enough about me. Sean, what do you got, bud?
Oh, little Fender Player Plus Nashville style Telecaster from Robert Baker, none other than
Robert Baker.
Yes, one on a members only giveaway, which was pretty awesome. It has a screaming noiseless pickup situation through here, and if I'm in the it's got a push pull down here where I can make my bridge pickup a humbucker with the neck, and then it kind of changes the tone there, and it's really fun to play. I get fret sprout where I live all the time, but the frets are nice and ball in rounded, and the fret board is like nice and rolled, so it never like cuts my fingers, but I definitely need to knock them back every spring and fall because it's just so dry where I live.
Right.
But it's just a sweet little Nashville Tilly, and I'm I'm very lucky to have it for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
Let me do something really quick.
Yeah, do what
I'm
you gotta
sorry.
do.
I
No, you're
actually forgot one pivotal thing for today. Hold please.
I got nobody on my stream. Where are my bros?
I was making sure we weren't going to be interrupted by life,
Oh yeah,
which
got to do
still
that.
did anyway. But yeah, there we go. So now we're back. We're ready to roll, I think. I was just
Speaking
going to
of,
say, too, we started somewhat on time. But anyway,
we
speaking of
did.
what, Sean?
Speaking of being interrupted by life, Jonathan, YouTubing can be very difficult sometimes.
Yeah, it can, as has been shown numerous times on this live stream.
On this very
Uh,
stream.
on this very stream. Yeah, no, it is very difficult. No matter what you're doing, whether you're recording and pre-planning or you're live streaming and just kind of doing it on the fly, it is ever changing and very seldom does everything go right the first time. Like last week, notably, we thought everything sounded cool, everything was good and crispy and golden, and then audio issues. This time on Sean's end, not mine. I had mine stuff sorted out. But
Yeah, we've
good
had
old
them.
Sean having to.
Both of us have had our fair share at this point of issues trying to live stream. Um, and I think this week we've got it. We can check with Steve Gunner over there on Electric Flamingo and have him let us know if everything sounds good this week. But
Funny, yeah. He says my audio's low compared to yours, and you're cracking in and out. At least they can hear you, but I did up my volume a little bit, so you can feel free to let us know
man, I
if that
wonder if
sounds
that
better.
has to do with your new stream thing, the Sanadu.
Senado, I don't know. I wouldn't. I mean, I wouldn't think so. Um, because right now I've got the mic volume up a little bit. I think like basically all the way. I've got
Yeah.
18 dB of gain on there, so I mean, I think I've got what 5 more dB if I really need to go up, but I don't know. I mean, to me, sounds good, but
Yeah.
that's anyway. We're not gonna spend another 30 minutes talking about. Can you hear me now? We're not a Verizon commercial.
Right.
Um, remember those?
Yeah.
So yeah, YouTube is it's proving its point right now. It can be crazy. It can never go right. It can always go right. Doesn't matter. I've written out scripts before and I've had my camera die or my camera overheat or my mic go out and I'm just like ugh. Or in the editing process after you filmed 2 days worth of videos and then it's like no, you didn't.
No, you
Yeah.
didn't. And that
You didn't.
actually happened to me. Quick what's up to Searching for Tone and Jimmy Biter over here on my channel. Boys, let me
Howdy.
know if everything's sounding crispy to you. We've been having audio issues. So just want to make sure over on my channel everything sounds good. And then I just wanted to publicly apologize to Keith at For the Love of Guitars because we recorded a 1.5 hour podcast together, of which I cannot air because my vocals were doubled the entire time and I wasn't hearing that back while recording. And yeah, so now we have to re-record, and I'm shooting another Tone Deep tomorrow with another YouTuber. And I'm happy to have that, but that Tone Deep will have to get pushed out because I want to stay on schedule. So mine and Keith's will come out the Friday. Well, hopefully by like not next Monday, but the Monday after. And then I will release the other Tone Deep after Keith and I have re-recorded our other one. And luckily with Keith, conversation flowed easily. So, it's kind of like what you and I do every week. It was just really easy for us to chat and talk. And Keith's here now. Keith, I just publicly apologized. I don't know if you caught that, but I feel dumb. And YouTube can make you feel dumb sometime.
Oh yeah, yeah, it can.
Steve Gunner jumped
And
over and said that the stream sounds better on my channel for whatever reason.
huh, that is strange. I don't know.
So,
It could be. It could be because of that. That's the only thing that I've changed. But
right.
I guess we're gonna roll with it for now, and
But
then
you
maybe I'll change
sound
my
really
setup.
good over here. So I
See,
don't
and the same with you. You sound good. No crackling. No nothing. I will say
weird.
on my end, Zuhair said, "I'm dying of laughter now. Sean's audio fine sometimes, other times silent or crackly and going in and out like a monster." And then I had a good laugh. So some
Rah.
entertainment value. Yeah, some entertainment value there. I dig it.
Well,
But
worst
yeah,
case
yeah,
scenario,
YouTube
I can
again.
always download these last 2 episodes and you can repost them on your channel, as
Yeah,
Bone deep if we need to.
if we need to. Whatever. We're working out the stuff. Well, maybe by 111 episodes we'll have it figured out. Who knows?
Welcome to OnlyFrets, aka Technical Difficulties with Jonathan and Sean.
Pretty much, yeah. I've also
So
noticed too on my on YouTube too, we're way behind latency wise on my channel. Like we're talking like minutes behind. It
really,
seems like. Yeah. I just
Xanadu,
just another fun thing, which is I don't know if it's that thing or not because it's just an audio card. Really, and it's only for me. I don't know. It could be. It's you know.
we'll
Anyway,
have to try it
I digress.
without it next
Yeah,
time.
no, I'm gonna try it without it next time. I'll use my it's just so convenient because my computer is right here. I don't have to be like, what does that say? We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
I
If I can get
wonder
my iPad working, then
there's like some type of like buffer situation happening between the 2 audio cards or whatever that just they're not
there
talking
might be.
together.
I have
I
no
don't
idea.
know.
Anyway,
Jonathan, you wanted to talk about a online creator who does some music stuff, and there's maybe some hot button issues embedded within that.
yeah. So, searching for tone says just real quick sounds good on both channels. I'm on my phone, but he says Sean's audio is crackling on my channel. Just
Oh,
to note that.
weird.
Now we're moving on. We're really moving on.
We're past that.
So yeah,
We-
we're past that. Just it is what it is.
Yeah.
So Trey Xavier over at what is formerly known as Gear Gods. We've talked about him previously. If you don't know who he is, awesome dude, awesome channel. His whole thing is songwriting. And I mentioned before that he does kind of a unique thing where he'll roll dice and pick random stuff and write songs out of it. It's kind of like a challenge for him and for his audience and everything. Well, he does the thing. I think it's once a month where he does a contest. Somebody will sponsor. It's like, we'll give away this if you can write a song, and he'll pick a winner. Blah 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 blah. So I'll roll dice. He'll choose a drum track and say, "Y'all write a song to this." But he wants a song. He doesn't want riff salad. His term, not mine. Where you just drum bass and just riff over it. He wants a lead line or vocals. Okay, pivotal part of the story. So, with the innovation of good old artificial intelligence, artificial is what I was going to say. We'll roll with it. AI, or if you're Linda McMahon, A1, computers are writing songs now. And
Yeah.
that's not good for songwriting contests like that because you're supposed to be writing the songs here. And he got really, really upset at that. Probably because it was his birthday and he wasn't feeling good. And that was at the end of an 8-hour stream almost, where he almost awarded the prize to this guy, but he had to essentially beat the information out of him. And he finally admitted that he took the drum track and he used, I think, Chat GPT for the lyrics and then run it through, what's that, Suno? I think is what that is, where you can get where people do all the AI generated songs, and he got the vocals from it and everything, and essentially crafted a fake song. And it just got me thinking, is and this has kind of been a topic going on for a while. Like, is songwriting just dead? Like, is there even like a human element in it anymore? Because I my whole thing with the AI thing is if you use it as like a jumping off point to get some kind of inspiration, that's still a gray area. But I mean, I'm talking like if you if you use ChatGPT to say, write me some guitar tab, and it wrote you a line of tab, and then you kind of built off of that, fine, whatever. You took one line of something, and that's kind of it. But if it wrote you an entire song, and you're like, oh, I wrote a song. No, you didn't. You typed in a prompt in ChatGPT, and it wrote you a song, and you transcribed it. Now, is transcription again gray area?
Yeah.
But to enter a contest and you're screwing over other people that probably did it the right way, which again, maybe in songwriting there's not a right way, but if you're not writing the song, what did he say? What was the good point he said? Oh yeah, he said he didn't get Usain Bolt to go and run, you know, a race for him.
Yeah.
And then when he wins, get up on the pedestal, knock him down, and
Right.
say, "The trophy's mine because I won, but I just had him do it." It's the same kind of you're taking credit for someone else's work. In this case, AI. And then he's like, it's tricky because you can't copyright AI stuff. So it's just muddy waters kind of all around. And I don't know. It really kind of threw me for a loop too, because I've been wanting to get into I've been saying for years I want to record an album. Like I want to sit down, actually write a couple of songs, mix them well, process them well, or produce them well, all that kind of stuff. But I either don't have the time or things like this happen and I just lose my inspiration because I'm like, well, if people are just creating AI songs, what's the point of me wasting, you know, 3, 4, 5 months of my time or whatever writing songs and producing them and all this other stuff? What's the point? No one's gonna listen to it. Or they're gonna sit and do that whole, well, that sounds like AI because it's like I just don't know if I want to deal with that. I really don't,
Man.
if that makes any kind of
No,
sense.
it does. I mean, to me, the first thing they should have done with AI is make sure that it can't touch music, um, film,
Yeah.
and art. Um, those things are, I to me they're just those are for humans. That's like what we do
Yeah.
that no other species in the universe does, or the known universe at least. And that is
Potentially
like
anyway.
our that's our connection to each other and the world around us, and how
Mhm.
we emote what we see, and how we emote, like, how we take in emotions from others who are putting that out. Like, it's a point of connection for humanity. And I have a pretty huge problem with it. But I think I'm like you. We've got a couple of comments. AI has taken over stealth guitar, and then Jimmy Biter says AI taking humanity out of music since 2023. Um, Also, Keith wants to know about
Yeah.
this
Pretty much.
2021 Nashville Player Plus Telecaster, which is really, really sweet and has noiseless pickups. Um, it makes people lazy and complacent, Jimmy says, and I kind of agree. However, like my friend Ubi on YouTube uses AI for the vocals and lyrics because he writes the lyrics, but he doesn't sing. And so he's going through that now, where he kind of goes back and forth against himself a little bit, where he's like, I wish I had just found a singer that would just sing the lyrics, but he hasn't found anybody
Yeah.
yet with the chops, so he uses AI to sing the lyrics that he writes. I understand where he's coming from. I would rather like sing like as good as I can do, but I also have experience as the lead singer of 3 bands. I've sang my whole life, so I'm coming from a different perspective. So I can understand people using it in certain spaces. Oh yeah, what about the octopus that makes garden art? That's not AI. That's just incredible, Keith. That's what that is. But I don't like it. I will say um that you don't have to use, yeah, auto tune was bad enough, right, Jimmy? You
I
don't
actually have a
have
point
to
on
use
that here in a minute.
AI. We have BandLab. So for everybody who doesn't know, Ubi and I and a guy named Yussi, who sometimes shows up on our podcast, and some other musicians that have started like a band on BandLab. They call it a band, and you invite different people to join your band. My buddy Fulio, and what we're doing is we're using drum loops, which again is AI adjacent. That's a different human recording drum loops and then,
Mhm.
selling it. Do I would I rather have like a drummer over here? Yeah, totally. But that's not always possible. So you kind of use the tools that you have. Um,
Yep.
but we're creating music together. So you don't have to use all AI to do this. You can get together with musicians, use a service like BandLab, which has a publishing aspect, a social media aspect, a recording interface in it. It's by Cakewalk, and you can record music with your friends. We did like a whole song, like Ubi posted like the intro, and then Yussi added a bunch of stuff, and then I added some stuff, and we extended the song, and like you can cut and snip and paste and like do all that. It's really fun. It's like literally the most fun. And everybody
Yeah.
can edit the song. You get updates when somebody adds something to it. It's really, really fun. And you could do that instead of just using AI to create a whole ass track for a competition. Um, I don't
Yeah, it's
know.
pretty scary.
I mean, it's real sketchy. That's something that you just have to be on the lookout for. I mean, good on uh uh dang it, his
Trey
name,
Xavier.
Trey,
Trey, yeah.
for snuffing that out.
Yeah, no, and that's what a lot of people are praising him for is like good on you for calling him out, because that's and it's not like he committed a crime or nothing, but it's just like, you're trying to essentially steal something from somebody else because you went the lazy route and were just
Right.
like, I'm just gonna cash in on getting this expensive piece of gear or whatever it was he was giving away.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's and that's the
Intentions
thing with
matter. Intentions matter
exactly.
a
Yeah,
lot,
it's all in
a
the
lot.
intentions. So going on to the auto tune point, like I have a great example. So if you listen to, we're gonna go back to Amberlin because they're in a unique situation. So um, they've been around for a while. Recently, their lead singer kind of took a hiatus from the band. He still tours with them and stuff, and like shows up special guest appearances, which lucky them. Um, but they have Maddie Mullins from Memphis Mayfire singing for him. Now, if you are a Memphis Mayfire fan, which I dabble in them from time to time, he is very heavy on the auto tune. Not that he can't sing. I don't know why he uses auto tune because he can sing. The dude's got pipes. I mean, he can
Yeah.
sing.
Just
But
like T-Pain. Have you
exactly,
heard
yeah,
T-Pain sing for real? It's
yes.
so good. It's
But the
so
thing
good.
is,
Like, they just like how auto-tune sounds.
exactly.
Yeah,
So he's doing it for the effect.
right.
T-Pain does it for the effect because he even says himself, like, you can't sing on key. You have to purposely like sing flat or sing sharp and like sing like a mess to get it to do the auto tune thing.
Mhm.
But if you're using it for pitch correction, again, not that it's the worst thing in the world, but it's just one of those things like Glenn Fricker says, you're taking the human element out of it. Because if you go and listen to something like Blueprints for the Black Market, that's the first Amberlin album.
Mhm.
It's so raw, it's so just perfect in its flaws. He doesn't hit the note all the time. He's hitting the notes, but it's like you can tell like he's,
You can feel it.
you know, human. Yeah, he's feeling it. But with Matty Mullins, they re-recorded another album, Never Take Friendship Personal. They re-recorded that whole album. And while it's good, that rawness is kind of missing from it.
Yeah.
Not that it's like every album that's produced is like, oh, this is first take and whatever, but because there are going to be edits and stuff in it, but it's like you can tell the auto tune is just evident there. It's
Yeah.
one of those things. It's like he's using it for the pitch correction, but also for the effect at the same time, like just a slight
Right.
hair. But it's too perfect. People
Sure.
editing drums, like where you say you use drum loops. if you're snapping it to the grid, like you're already goofing, right? Like that's leave it a little off. It's a little off time. It's okay. It makes it even if it's like a drum sample. That's like the number one thing to making drum samples sound more human is put them off the grid a little bit. You know, it adds
Well,
that human element to it.
yeah,
Do the
and, like,
velocity.
you
Mess
look
with,
at
mess
something
with it.
like the Mona Lisa, the shadowing is off, like, the shading is you look at some of these
Right.
ancient works of art, and it's like, they're clearly not perfect, but, like, a human did it,
But that's what makes them perfect,
right, and
right?
it's
It's
so
the
good
perfection and the
anyway.
imperfections.
Yeah,
Exactly. It's been, I mean, hell, it's been stolen what once I think. Clearly, someone has value in it, and it's worth. It's in like one of the most popular museums in the world for a reason.
right.
And again, art is subjective. There's some people that might like the auto tune stuff. I don't know. There's some people that like, and it's really prevalent in like modern metal. Like
Yeah,
modern metalcore and all that kind of stuff
yeah,
with all the editing and stuff like that. But yeah,
mhm,
it's the same kind of thing with the AI. You're taking all of the human element out of it. And it's like you wonder why people still regard bands like, Led Zeppelin and stuff as like, these pioneer because they didn't have all that crap back in the day.
they just
They went
played.
in, they just played it, and if they flood the note, okay. Like one of my favorite stories is well, there's two of them. With Aerosmith is one of them. So if you listen to Sweet Emotion and you got all that stuff going on in the beginning, he says that when you hear like the like that kind of,
Yeah.
that's a sugar packet. They said they needed something else,
Really?
so he found a sugar packet, and he's just like to the microphone, yeah. And then you hear the little thing in the background that's like the kind of thing like that. If you listen, there's a part in there where you hear like that. That's him breaking that thing, like the little jaw harp or whatever it's called. The
Oh,
little Australian type thing. Yeah, and they kept it in the thing. You can barely hear it, but he pointed it out. He was on Howard Stern, and he did
mhm,
that. So there's like that, mistakes. Now the other human thing that I like, Glenn Fricker actually told this story with Iron Maiden when they were recording Number of the Beast. You have the beginning part that's like the build up to him doing the that whole thing. They did that take, the beginning take, so many times because the engineer was like, it's just something off about it. To the point where he's in there throwing stuff around the studio, like pissed off, like I want to do the scream. Like, let me get to the scream. So they record it, and it's like, okay, it's a good take. Go ahead and do the scream.
yeah,
So that scream that you hear in the final recording is all of that pent up, like wanting to do it, and it just adds that extra layer of like
right,
emotion to it.
right.
But do you think if he went into the studio with all this modern stuff and was like, okay, 2, 3 takes, we can edit it, whatever, the human element of it would be gone completely. And I'm like, I don't know, man. Not to sound like a boomer or anything. I'm really not
Hey,
trying to, but
we're all a little bit of a boomer. A couple of good points brought up over here in my chat. Keith says singing is hard, but Neil Young proved it doesn't matter how your voice sounds. You go for it with passion, people can feel it, and that is 100% true. There are
same with
numerous,
Bob Dylan.
Bob Dylan, Tom Petty, uh, even like Joe Cocker was not the best at anything, but he
Yeah.
was so passionate. Or like Jimi Hendrix, bringing it up from last week, probably not the best. I mean, maybe the best guitar player at the time, but not like George Harrison lived at the same time that Jimi Hendrix did, and George Harrison was a phenomenal guitar player. It was like
Mhm.
Jimmy played with so much feel that everybody loved it. Well, not everybody, but most people loved it at the time. And then Jade Guitar says, makes me think about serial music, a mathematical form of music making. Yeah. I'm not 100% sure what you mean, Jade, but I imagine we're talking like bleeps and bloops there. And then Stealth says a lot of music today has become too robotic, and I would tend to agree with that for sure. So
Yeah.
I think you turn on the radio and everything's. I mean, you could just bleed one song into the next. Even country, Chat
Oh god.
GPT for lyrics is not new, by the way. All of the writers in Nashville would sit around together, and then they have Chat GPT open on their phones. And this was early
Hmm.
days Chat GPT, and they were using it for coming up with lyrics. And that's why everything sounds the same, because Chat GPT is taking an amalgamation of the human experience, its robotic sort of uh what it thinks the human experience is, and then answering your prompt with what it thinks being a human is like, and then spitting out
Yep.
lyrics based on that. And it's just not, there's no internal perspective. Have you ever written a song? Okay, so for example, sometimes I would find that it was hard to write a song from my perspective. So what I would do is pretend that I was somebody else. I wrote a song called Spiteful back in the day for my first band, and I that song is told from one of my best friends' point of views about a girl he was dating at the time. So it has not the song has
Hmm.
zero to do with me, but I was
Right.
him in writing the song, and I was talking about this like really toxic relationship and how that went through. And so, like, like my wife would hear that song and be like, "Who were you dating?" And it's like, nobody. That was, my buddy's girlfriend at the time.
Right.
And that whole song was about their back and forth, not mine. And that is a really fun thing to do, because you basically have no skin in the game at that point. You can write
Hmm.
whatever you want without feeling like you're gonna hurt somebody's feelings, because it's not you. It's not you
Right.
and a person you're involved with or whatever. So just, there are lots of ways like what Trey is doing to spice up how to write a song. And all of those can be done using your own brain and heart and soul. And you don't need to involve AI in it at all. I don't think. I would never want to do that, you know.
I mean, yeah, it's you kind of hate to say, well, what did people do back in the day when they hit writer's block or whatever? It's like, yeah, they didn't have again the advantages we have nowadays, but maybe take the inspiration from what they did. Go take a walk somewhere or something.
Yeah,
I mean, you never
take
know.
a time
You
out.
could go walk in the park and hear a bird tweeting in the tree and be like, "That's a cool rhythm," or I mean, it's something like that,
Go
you know?
live your life too.
Go
Like
live your life.
the you know what they say, you get 20 years to write your first album, and then you get like 2 years to write your next one. And that's true if you're a, famous musician. But for the rest of us, it's like, I mean, you could write something every day if you want. I
Yeah.
don't, but I have multiple experiences every single day that make me happy or mad or sad or whatever. I think about things all the time. We all think all the time, and you can just write your thoughts down, and then eventually, just build on that. But it is a game. It's like, you ever read those Orson Scott Card books, Jonathan? The Ender's series? They made a movie about it called Ender's Game, and that was the name of his famous book, but they're like these sci-fi books.
Uh, if I'm having to think about it this hard, probably not.
I'm a super
Ask me.
nerd, but anyway, they're really good books. And in it, there's a kid named Ender, and there's this video game that they give them while they're on this spaceship training to become like war fighting pilots or whatever, right? And they give them this video game to play, but really the government, the powers that be, are like watching them play the game and like tracking their thought process and stuff. But the game
Right.
is like, you start off as like a mouse, so think like Odell Lake from like the old PCs back. Oh, I'm older than you. It's like you start off as like a little fish, and then you eat a fish and you become a bigger fish, kind of a thing.
Mhm.
Anyway, so like the whole game is like you can kind of go, it's open world. You can kind of go anywhere, do anything. Weird stuff happens. Like how you react to that weird stuff is how they, all this. But that's like if you play that game with writing lyrics, you have a thought of like a one-liner while you're taking a walk in a park of something that rhymes, write it down, and then like just sit for a minute and look at it and then write the next line and then see where it takes you. It's like a open I love writing songs. So to me it's like a game. It's really fun.
Yeah.
And I would never let a computer take that away from me.
Yeah. 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 Zoo Hair in my chat over here, he's had a couple things. He said, really interesting idea to write a song from someone else's point of view. So I think that's also an interesting idea. And then he says, how do you come up with the chord progression of an everyday idea you suddenly want to make a song out of? See, there's not really a hard and fast answer to that because to me, I'm always, I'm always, I don't write lyrics. And if I was going to, I probably wouldn't write the lyrics first because then everybody's songwriting process is kind of different. But
Yeah.
like for me, I've been messing around more with like a jazzy kind of feel. So if I'm like, um, not that goat, not that,
Not that one.
something like that. Anyway,
Yeah.
little chords like that, and I've
Yep.
I've tried to come up with progressions, just kind of like, okay, that note sounds good, that sounds good. There's your chord progression,
Yeah.
right? It's kind of like a descending thing, but I mean, you add a little bit of flair to it. Suddenly, you have something kind of starting to build. And if you don't like that, I mean,
Right.
like that's something else I've messed with,
Take
right?
it and mess with the rhythm. Yeah.
Yeah, mess with the rhythm. That's what I was gonna say. Mess with the rhythm of it. Add notes to chords. So like I
Mhm.
was doing there, I was doing like a little hammer-on action there. Um, learn a little bit of theory. Honestly, I know that's not really the best answer to give, but if you learn a little bit of theory and you kind of get the idea of how some of the chords work, or like a mode or a scale or whatever, you can kind of build off of that.
Yeah.
But I've had things where it's like I literally will be kind of whatever, and I'll be like, I wonder why I had put my hands here. Not that that was a chord or anything, but just something like that. And you
Hey,
would
I feel like you can pull up the circle of fifths on Google anytime you want.
mm, yeah,
That's a really helpful tool. That's been really helpful for me because I struggle with that too. A lot of the songs I write um, just just sort of happen. I
yeah,
never knew the circle of fifths until like 2 years ago, and I still don't know it, but I pull it up when I
right.
need it, when I'm struggling with where to go with the song. Keith does say that descending thing sounds really good, and he'd write music with that for sure. So nice work there, Jonathan, on the fly.
Thank
But
you.
like a lot of stuff that I've been working on lately is like, hold on, maybe I can let me get out of the high gain area. Like so I have a song that I've been working on that has like similar, some nice jazzy chords. And I'm going like in and out of like major and minor trying to keep it fun, like and then
There you go. Yeah, switch keys in there. Switch. Yeah,
and then mixing my affinity for riffs in there where I can. So I think it's just like we were talking about with lyric writing. It's very similar. You're playing a game with your own brain. You
yeah,
think about it like that, like doing a puzzle, or trying to like dig yourself, like to find out if there's a natural tunnel underground somewhere or whatever. Like you're trying to find a path that is currently unknown to you, but does definitely exist. So, um, when you're trying to write, and it looks like Jonathan's switching the battery on his camera there, but
I tried to
I
do it beforehand, but it still died.
all good, brother.
Anyway, go
But
back.
yeah, definitely like think about it like a brain game. Like that's what I like to do, and talking about that, like writing from somebody's perspective, totally born out of writer's block. Like I couldn't write anything about me. I couldn't, my brain wouldn't allow me to like write that song about my own situation. So I had to put myself in somebody else's shoes, which, you know, is also kind of like a testament to humanity. Like we have something that nobody else does, which is empathy, and we can use that empathy to write a song from somebody else's perspective with care and or with any human emotion. And I just, yeah, man, chord writing is the same to me. It's like find a bass, find a, find a key. You really right now, almost everything I'm writing is coming out of A because I've been taking these Robert Baker rock and roll courses, so I'm just like really in A right now, but I'm trying
Yeah.
to mix it up where I can. And stuff like Band Lab, where somebody else has the idea. Thanks for coming, Stealth. I am sorry to hear that. I hope she is okay. Sounds like Stealth Guitar's daughter just went to the ER. Take care, sir.
Ooh,
Uh, yeah, thoughts and
best of
prayers,
luck.
man, for sure. Um, but you can connect with other musicians and other guitar players, and they might have something that you haven't thought of at all. That's why I really loved
Yeah.
like back on when we were mostly like on Instagram. I would take like a clip of something you wrote and then like try and write something over it
Mhm.
because it was putting, you did that one that was in like 5/7 or whatever whatever
Oh,
time.
yeah, what it was in 6/4.
Yeah,
Yeah.
6/4 timing, and it was like, well, I've never played in that before. It was really difficult, and I did not really accomplish it, but it definitely made me think different and have to, take me out of my own comfort zone, which is just straight up 4/4. So
Right,
pretty
yeah.
cool.
Zuhair, again, if I'm saying your name wrong, I'm sorry, but I'm just phonetically.
Yeah.
He said, good thing with the guitar, he said the answer that we gave, hell, by the way. He said, good thing with guitar is that if you play a note or chord that really, really doesn't work, you'll know. One of my
Yeah.
favorite examples is this one. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. And then if you're ever stuck too, start on some distortion and just
The chuds.
it's worked for Metallica for 40 years. I mean, it's for real.
That's right.
But yeah, he said otherwise don't be afraid to try weird ideas. Absolutely step outside your comfort zone. Mess around with effects, honestly. Um, get something like the Pocket Master. It's
Mhm.
affordable. It's got a ton of effects built into it. Get some cheap pedals and just mess around with them. I didn't really use effects other than like reverb and delay. But when you kind of discover chorus, it's like good on cleans. Like that's kind of overdone, but I mean it sounds good and it works. Try that.
Yeah.
If you're miking up a cabinet, don't just do a Vintage 30 speaker and an SM57. Try a different mic. You never
I
know.
mean,
Or
yes,
try a different
slap
impulse
on a
response.
pitch shift and a fuzz and tell me you're not writing a Jack White sounding lick after that. I mean,
Exactly.
it
Exactly.
definitely pedals are not like, there's a lot of plug straight into the amp and go purists, which is like cool. If you are like
That's
over
me.
spilling with like guitar creativity, then maybe you don't need anything to like help trigger a, a new emotion or a new feeling or a new vibe while you're playing. But pedals absolutely have helped me. Kind of, I wrote one using my Octafuzz,
Mhm.
and I'm like, I have to write a lick, and it came out kind of like, you know, half Led Zeppelin-y sounding type of thing because that's what it made me feel. And so I think that pedals can absolutely help. Listen to the first chord of God as a Bullet by Concrete Blonde. Weird chord that fits the song. Right, Jimmy. Yeah, I think that's what we're saying. Like, be weird. And real quick, Mark Spurgeon in the chat, back from neck surgery. What up, brother? I'm glad to see your name on the screen for sure. I hope you are feeling better, my man. He says, Sean and Jonathan, good to see you guys. Yeah,
Good to see you.
yeah, man.
Glad to hear everything's going well with you.
Yeah.
Let's see. Zuhair, he is very active in here.
Good.
He said he has a Gibson Flying V like your Flying V back there, but yours is not a Gibson, right? Yours is a build, right?
Right. Yeah, that's it is a kit build actually. So not nearly as good as a Gibson, but the best
It
flying
works.
V I've ever owned.
There you go, because you made it. He
Yeah.
also said, "Would a reverb or delay pedal be different from my Boss Katana's built-in effect?" That's actually a really good question, and I have my own thoughts and opinions on this. Um, I wholeheartedly believe that the pedal market is extremely saturated um, with just a bunch of clones. So, long story short is, especially in the Katana, I would hope that those effects are going to be based off of the Boss pedals that are already on the market. So you're probably already getting something that you would get pretty similar to what Boss offers built in already, if that makes sense. Now, I've done a lot of pedals on my channel, not a lot, but enough to know that some of them are really just clones of the other. And especially with reverb and delay, man, there's just, I mean, what can you really do with reverb other than do like spring, room, hall, plate? Like that's it.
Yeah. It's
Like, you know,
it's kind of been done.
it's kind of
There's
been done, yeah.
like
Bare Naked Lady said it best.
Big Sky style reverb where it has like trails and stuff like that.
Yeah, or like a
Same with
shimmer reverb.
distortion. Distortion's like, I mean, technically the Rat pedal did fuzz, distortion, and overdrive, and all you had to do was twist a
Mm,
freaking knob to like get it. But
right.
you have something like, I just did a video on this little boy here, the Nada Dumble. Um, this to me actually feels more like a I know it's not exactly the same because you can't stack the overdrives, but
Mm,
it feels more like a Tone King than a Dumble amp in a box kind of a thing. Like it has
yeah.
two types of overdrive. And if you jack up, you know, these bottom knobs here, you get close to the middle end of these top knobs so you can kind of bleed into the high gain as you go. I really like this pedal, but it's I have freaking the Nauticlon, the Nautodumble, the overdrive preamp, a tube screamer, and my overhive, and it's just like and the triple threat from Donner. I probably don't need any more distortion. Plus whatever the Podgo and the GTX 100 offer. It's like at some point you're gonna exhaust that effect style, and it's good to know
Yeah.
when you've done that, then you can stop and you can chase something else, a different tone, you know um and use that to inspire you rather than just like looking for inspiration in the same place over and over again. I just wanted
Yeah.
to show Zuhair the Flying V here. He was
Yeah,
interested,
he
so
says cool V. Yeah.
thanks. Anyway,
But yeah,
um
no, it's to me with effects, it's just you get more option paralysis than anything else too. You know, you
and
hear that term thrown around, especially it's like with multi effects pedals, which I think multi effects pedals are kind of the way to go nowadays. Um,
oh
as
yeah.
somebody that owns quite a few of them, but you know, it really just depends on like, I mean, you've got the Pocket Master. I wouldn't necessarily say you could go and gig with that, but
Oh,
I
you
mean,
can
for
gig with it.
travel, you probably could in like a smaller something or other.
Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows? The world's crazy. People
Well, it
might
has line
get crazy
out.
and totally
So as long as your sound guy has an XLR to quarter-inch cable, which he should, you can just go direct from this little guy right here and
yeah.
get everything you want. And I really like you do have to do some nerd work to get the best tones out of this thing for sure.
Yeah.
But it's well worth it. I got that Tone Junkie Jimi Hendrix PRS amp model in here right now.
Mhm.
Dude, freaking
Yeah.
crispy. It's so good.
Nice.
And The effect options on here, I like using regular pedals with the modelers, but the effect options in the modeler here are awesome. It has like auto
Right.
wah and all that fun stuff. So definitely loving this gift from Electric Flamingo.
Sounds like a great guy.
Don't know if you guys have heard of it,
Lucas
but go check him out on YouTube.
Lucas Steinsland in my comments over here says, play something. What would you like to hear? Ugh, that was terrible. I always miss it. Always miss it.
There we go.
Sweet. There we go. Yeah.
Oh man. Well, Jonathan, what is on the books over at Electric Flamingo in the Pink Room of Doom?
We got, trying to make sure I got all my noise off there. So I did a bunch of Donner stuff. Did another little like desktop amp kind of thing. It's kind of cool. That should be coming out in a little bit. I had to move. It was going to be next week. Okay. So next week is going to be a decently busy week for videos just because I have a bunch of sponsored stuff that I'm trying to get out at once. And it was going to be Sunday to Saturday, just a video every day. But things changed. I had some people be like, don't release it yet or blah, 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 blah. So there's that. But there'll be that amp coming out. There is this guy. So another Donner guitar, another DST. It's the DST 100.
Banana.
Yeah, HSS type deal. I thought it was white, but as you can see, it's like a yellow kind of thing. Kind of cool.
Yeah.
Really nice for the price and everything. It was a whole kit. Obviously, I'll be talking about the Les Pauls I got and my SG Junior. I'm actually working on a video about that because I have a very interesting point to make with the SG Junior specifically, which I'll let the thumbnail and the title speak for that, and you guys can whatever. This should be coming out relatively soon. But what else? I'm supposed to have some Joyo stuff coming, but I've not heard back. They've kind of ghosted me on that. They said we're shipping it out, and I've not heard anything back from them. So
sometimes you just gotta wait.
Sometimes you do. And yeah. Zuhar says, dude, I got the DST 200 in black. So happy. Don't see any problems. Feel like a high-end Fender Strat. Yeah, they really are super duper impressive. The 200, that was the one that comes in pink too. I think it's the one I had that was in pink. I've pretty much had all the DSTs on my channel. I don't know why they just sent me the 100 now, but I digress. And really the only one that I had some type of issue with was the DST 80, which was like their real low end. It's probably the one below the one I just showed you.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that one was, it had a lot of potential to be good, but that rusted claw on the back, oh my God.
Yeah, that was pretty nasty, bro.
Took me out. Yeah, I was like, no freaking way. And then he said he sent Donner thanks on eBay. You should thank them. They're a great company. And now I will say this, and I've not called them out publicly on it, but I guess I am about to now. Apparently their customer service is not the greatest. So if you have any technical issues, they're not like the best at getting back to people. Because I see so many people be like, oh yeah, it's almost great, but they sent me like one that had fret sprouts. I try to reach out to them and see if I could and they just, it's almost like they take your money and run. Now, again, is that to say that you shouldn't interact with them? I mean, I have no dog in the race. I can say whatever I want about them, but I personally have not had any issues with any of their products that they've sent, not because they're sending me the best, like some people would swear. But
you just haven't needed to use customer service, right?
Exactly, yeah. But I'm in a different situation because I'm talking to somebody that's, I have a direct line. I'm not just going straight to like customer service at Donner.com or whatever it is. It's so. Oh, that's another thing from Donner. Speaking of which, I really liked this. Let me grab it. Hold on. Ugh. Sorry about that. It's this thing. So it's another multi-effects pedal, but it's for acoustic guitars.
Oh,
So
cool.
it's called the APL, the Acoustic Preamp Looper. It's got like 6 IR bodies in it, so you can change between, I think it's like Martins, Taylors, Gibsons, things like that. Built-in effects on it, and it's really cool. It's got a looper
That's
built
for
into it, and
like,
I was really impressed with that.
yeah, that's like if you want to do your Howie Day impersonation. Dude, does anybody remember Howie Day and the Loops?
Yes,
Dude, that
yes. I
guy
used to.
was a one-man band back in the day, man.
Yeah,
It was awesome.
yeah.
And he just
What
used
was
the
his one hit or his big
um
hit was
he had what was it called?
I
That's
can't remember, like I
why
hear it in
I'm
my head.
wondering why you had to tell me what's going on. No, the hit
You
was
might be thinking, yeah, you might have another one. I'll have to look it up
thinking
now
of
because I'm
Ghost.
gonna.
I'm thinking of the song Ghost, but he did have one hit. Uh,
Yeah.
and then there were many clones of him at that time. Ashley Simpson's boyfriend. What was his name? God, I can't remember. It was too long. On the way down, I saw you, saved me from myself. That was Ashley Simpson's boyfriend, and he was like trying really hard to sound like Howie Day. Anyway,
I need to look up that song now. I have it in my head. I used to sing it all the time and stuff. What was it? Collide. That's the song I
uh-huh,
was thinking of.
uh-huh.
You and
That was at
I
the end of it
collide.
too.
Yeah.
He didn't get his big hit until like his very last. Like he had all this college campus music that he was putting out for like
God, yeah.
years until it was playing at the end of every frat party. Those good times.
Yeah.
Um, no AI for that guy, that's for sure. He was the AI. He
No.
made the background
Exactly.
music himself and then looped it, Um,
Yeah. But other than that, that's kind of really what I got. I got another wireless system coming up.
nice.
2 wireless systems actually coming up. Like the XLR ones, not like guitar.
And
I'm a
probably
little
a
over those. But
never-ending
anyway,
slew of, mom jokes, you know?
yeah, I know. But
Uh,
anyway,
yeah, so over here at
what you got?
SPG, we're doing I'm gonna re-record my interview with, Keith at For the Love of Guitars with Keith. Go to his YouTube channel, press the little subscribe button. I am dropping a link in the chat for a, song a backing track. It's called Song in a Hat. You can record a backing track and drop it in the Song in a Hat, and then Ubi over at the Ubi will send you somebody else's backing track, and you record yourself like soloing over it or doing whatever you want to it.
Hmm.
So it's just like a really cool creation platform for all of us to kind of you know, humanize each other and make music together, and it's really cool. I dropped a
Might
link.
need to send me that link.
Yeah,
I'll have to
yeah,
check
I
that
will.
out.
I'll have you do that. You should definitely do it with us, dude. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Um, and I think there's like 2 more weeks left until to the deadline or whatever. Um, what else? I have an interview with that I'm recording this Friday. So everything will be like a week. So in like 2 or 3 weeks, I'll start releasing these 2 tone deep episodes, one with Keith and then one with Lucas Fowler. His
Really?
Yeah, I his YouTube
That's cool.
channel. Well, he's been kind of so I've been following Lucas for like 5 years. I think the
Bye,
first
Zuhair.
yeah, dude.
Sorry.
Um, yeah, thanks Zuhair for coming on, man. Appreciate you. Anyway, I've been following, watching Lucas Fowler's videos for a really long time. He's incredibly talented, and he can kind of do everything in
Yeah.
guitar. His channel is a lot like how I would want mine to be, minus the ability, the capabilities he has. Like I'll never be as good of a guitar player or singer as that guy, but like he kind of does a little bit of everything, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so I've had a lot of interest, and I just reached out to him on Instagram recently and was like, "Hey, man, I'm doing these interviews, and shout out to like Nick Perry and Alex at Super Danger for doing those with me to kind of give me a little bit of a springboard, if you will, to get other
Mhm.
personalities interested." Um,
Yeah.
there when you send a link to a video that you've done with somebody like that, it definitely helps other people um, want to do it. So that's really exciting. I'm excited to just talk to him again. The humanizing thing, right, is like huge for me. I just want to talk to people on YouTube, like YouTubers and musicians that I really like, and
Yeah.
this kind of day and age allows that to actually happen.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
so we got that coming up. The music backing track thing. Um, and then I think just doing only frets every week with you and my live streams on Friday nights. And that's kind of it for me for now in the works. There's a potential sponsored video coming up, like fully. Like I have my Firebird build, the laundry room's almost done. So the Firebird build will happen over the summer, but there's a potential sponsored video coming up that I don't want to drop too much info about, but I'm really excited about it. Super cool
Does it tie
company.
into the Firebird build at all?
It does not, although it may, because my contact happens to be like a builder, so I'm hoping I may actually get him on screen and record that while I do some electronic stuff on the
That'd be nice. Yeah,
Firebird.
that'd be
Have him
cool.
help me out, help a brother out with that, and give me a little wiring lesson or something, which would be really cool.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
neato. Okay, yeah, can't
endless
wait for that.
possibilities, man.
Yeah.
Um, Amanda Coombs, Randy Tritt, Keith, Jimmy, Mark, Stealth. Hope your daughter is okay. That sucks. Jade Guitars. Who else do we have? Steve Gunner, Brian, Searching for Tone. Everybody go watch Searching for Tones Wednesday night live stream. So much fun. Lots of action in the chat. Really great stuff there. And yeah, we'll
Yeah, and thank you,
next
Searching
week.
for Tone, for jumping over here at one point, and Steve Gunner, and especially Zuhair for being super duper active in there, and Lucas, I don't think he's in there anymore, but hopefully we played you something. It wasn't
Yeah,
anything good, but it's something.
that's right.
We're just in there with guitars. We need to really learn to play more. But yeah, so I think that's gonna wrap it up. Looks like it's 3:05. I think we started about 5 minutes late, so that's
We
good
did
timing
it.
on our end. We did it.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get back to it, and we'll catch you guys next Thursday on both of our channels here. Only Frets Thursday
11
at
a.m. PST,
2
2
p.m.
p.m.
Yeah, 2
EST.
p.m. EST. I was going backwards. I was gonna say yours first, but I can't do that. I gotta do my time zone first. But anyway, everybody take care. Y'all have a good one, and hope everybody's lives kind of gets sorted out. It seems like everybody's kind of got their own stuff going on. Best wishes to you.
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody have a great weekend.
Have a good one.